Hi, this is Mike, and welcome back to 5 Minutes of Fantasy Sports. So, opening day is upon us for baseball, and I just wanted to go over a few things you might want to double check before you get started and give you one tip that's going to save you quite a bit of time this season. So, if we take a look at our web page here, let me zoom in a little bit. And you want to go to your team and you want to open it up. So, I'm going to click on that for you. And one thing you always want to do whenever you have to make a move or anything like that is you want to make sure you click the button that says Start Active Players. So when you click that, it starts your players for the day. And then if you click Start, it's also going to start your players for the rest of the week. So you want to stay on top of that because anytime you add or drop a player, it kind of resets the rest of your lineups. So what you'll need to do, though, if you have an extra hitter like I do, you might want to double check to make sure the hitter you want to start is actually starting. So when I go to tomorrow, which is opening day on Thursday, because I don't have a guy starting, it moved him to the bench. But if you have a full roster on a day, you might want to check. So like tomorrow I have 2 pitching starters, and then the next day. But let me check Friday. Sorry, the laundry room is being used right now, the dryer. You might hear that soothing sound in the background. Yeah, so what you want to check is you want to see is Kyle Gibson starting or not. He's not. There's no check mark next to his name, so he should be good. But what I might want to do, so let's look at Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If you have all your guys starting like I do on Saturday, they've automatically moved Whit Merrifield to my bench. And I don't want him on the bench, so what I would do is I might move him to second base instead of Eduardo Escobar. So even though you click active players, you still want to make sure that it's, you still have to double check the lineup that Yahoo sets for you. So, you got a robot doing it for you. It doesn't mean that the robot's going to do everything perfectly. You just want to double check to make sure that it's putting the people where you want. So back in my day when I first started fantasy sports, we had to do this all ourselves. So you can thank AI a little bit for that, I guess. It's probably just an algorithm, but whatever. We don't need to get into computer science right now. So anyway, as far as strategy and all that, you can take a look at the matchup. So I'm going up against this guy, Greg wins. Hopefully Greg doesn't win this week. No offense, Greg, but I'm looking to win. And it gives you a couple useful things. It says I have 188 games played. He has 172. So I don't know exactly why that might be. I think he has some extra hitters instead of extra pitchers, and I have extra pitchers. So my strategy is usually to not have any bench players for hitters. I usually wind up missing a few games because of that, but I make up for it with starting pitching. So I have a lot of starting pitchers, even though they're not, all studs. I do have Shane Bieber and Jose Barrios. For some reason, I said Shane Bieber, but I was thinking Justin Bieber. He's definitely not one of my pitchers. But anyway, I have 2 great pitchers, and then the rest of them, I'm just kind of hoping one of them hits. So I'll be watching the waiver wire. You might also notice on my screen I have Jack Flaherty and Dustin May on my IL. I have 4 IL spots, and I'm slowly but surely adding players to them. So it says here that Dustin May threw a 25-pitch bullpen session on Tuesday, so that's a good sign. But 4 IL spots. If you have IL spots in your league, you definitely want to be using them for players who may come back later in the season. Jack Flaherty, when he comes back, can make a big difference, and hopefully he comes back sooner rather than later. It might be about a month or so, but I'll be more than happy to replace Jack Flaherty with one of my pitchers like Chris Bubik or Patrick Corbin. Right now, they're not exactly top of the line. Patrick Corbin is the opening day starter for Washington, but he still has like an over 5 ERA, so it's not, being the opening day starter doesn't guarantee that they're any good. So anyway, what I'm going to be watching with my team, and maybe something you can do as well, is it never hurts to have extra starting pitching. You want to make sure if you have the innings pitched category like I do, you want to make sure you're going to win that one this week. And then I'll hopefully win wins as well. If you have extra starting pitchers over your opponent, you're better odds for that, and as well as Ks. So if you got 5 pitching categories and you can win 3, that's a pretty good deal. And then, I've invested heavily in my hitting, so hopefully I can win 4, maybe 5 of the hitting categories as well. So that's my strategy going into this season. The big tip is the start active players button. That's really going to help you out quite a bit. That'll keep your lineups fresh. Always remember to click it. I would just click it every time you visit your team page. And then if you have extra hitting, like I said, you want to double check that later as well. And you might want to even check your relievers. Sometimes they'll bench a reliever if you have a guy that you want to make sure gets one of those pitching spots. Double check they didn't bump him for someone who's a starting pitcher that's not starting. But other than that, the season is starting. Happy opening day to everyone. It looked like for a little bit it wasn't going to be here. And I'll be back a little bit later in the week to see how things are going. My first week, or Yahoo's first week, I should say, week 1 is actually the rest of this week and all of next week. So it's a week and a half, basically. So that's all for today. Put any questions in the comments if you have any, but I'll see everybody later.